Hey guys, what is going on? Kevin Ploe here. Welcome to Yahoo Entertainment on Facebook Live. I'm hugely excited for the crew that we have here today. They are the cast and director, most of the cast, half the cast, a lot of the cast of Smallfoot, Channing Tatum, Yara Shahidi, Danny Devito, director Karey Kirkpatrick, James Corden, Common. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
I loved this movie. I saw it a couple weeks ago with my girls. I know everybody tells you I know everybody tells you this at these junkets. I genuinely loved it. Probably more than my girls.
How
it is just
old are the girls?
They're 5 and 3.
Oh, wow, that's great.
But yeah,
That's great.
it's warm, it's sweet, it's clever, it's crafty. The messages are great, and the music is killer. We're going to talk about all those things here today. But just to start, how do you describe Smallfoot to somebody who lives under a rock and has not seen a trailer for this movie?
Anybody want to take this one?
That's all you.
Yeah, so it's a the myth of the Bigfoot or Yeti myth is flipped, and it's a village of Yetis that live on top of a mountain, and their life is sort of insular and perfect, and they believe that nothing is down below the clouds, and it's just them, that they exist in this perfect sort of ecosystem where everybody has a job and everybody has a purpose. And Migo is the son of the gong ringer, which is very, very important to him, and he raises he raises the glowing snail that crawls across the sky.
Very proud of my son.
Yeah. Yes. And
It comes through.
And as he's trying to help his dad one morning, he learns that something is definitely not as he was told, and it changes everything. Changes everything he knows to be true, and now sends him on an adventure to figure out what that is going to mean for his village.
Man, Channing, that was good.
That was
Where were you when I was writing this? I'll
take a credit.
Yes. Karey, we've got to talk about this killer cast that you've assembled. Not only these 5 amazing actors here, also Zendaya, Gina Rodriguez, LeBron James. How did you get such a killer cast? Tell us a little bit about the casting process.
Lots of begging.
Yeah, lots.
No, I mean...
Karey washed my car. So.
Yes.
That was it?
I would do anything. It's when you do these movies, you sit around and you kind of make up your dream. Ooh, you know who'd be great for this? You know who'd be great for that? And we got everyone that we said would be great. So Channing was cast first. He was the first person that came on board. And then bit by bit, we would take a look at the characters as they would be designed, and it would be like, I wonder if Danny DeVito, he'd be great as Dorgal. And when Common came in, we had a meeting. He was so great because the project was going through a lot of rewrites, and the character of the Stonekeeper was actually potentially a smaller character. Mm-hmm. And I said to him, I don't know how big this part's going to be, and I just remember he was like, I want to be a part of this in any way that I can. I don't care about the size of the part. He came in, I think, to put such a unique spin on a villain, just with the soulfulness of his voice, took it away from any sort of mustache twirling kind of villain. He brings such complexity to it just by being how amazingly cool he is. And I happened to be in London when James was over there, and I was like, oh God, this would be so perfect if James would be our Smallfoot. We met, and he was, I told him the story. And what I love about what James reacted to is he really reacted to the heart of the story. And we all know, that he's so effortlessly funny, but he really reacted to the heart and the message of this particular character. And then Yara and I go way back because I directed the first movie that Yara was in when she was 6 years old.
What?
Did you not know that?
No. What movie was this?
It's called Imagine That. And I played Eddie Murphy's daughter.
That's right.
It's a 5-month adventure.
Wow.
And she was awesome then, and an amazing young actress, and now she's an amazing young woman. And when you want to have great, strong female parts in your movie, I'll let the rest of you talk in just a minute. What you do is you cast 3 amazingly strong, young, fierce women, and that's what we have with Zendaya, with Gina, and with Yara. Not only voices for their culture, voices for their generation, and I think that comes through in the movie because they carry, the torch of integrity, curiosity, passion. So I'm so blessed, to be able to work with a cast like this.
Yeah, it is such an amazing cast. Did you guys actually get to meet, or throughout this process, or?
The weird thing about this is the whole thing is you're in a booth, and you're relying on. You imagine the people that are in the movie, but you don't see them. And it's like I just get the script, you get the feeling that you have for the part, and you got this guy. And he's right there. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you're doing it a million different ways. That's what I love. This kind of the genre is like kind of interestingly fun that way because you take it in different directions, and then the director constructs it. Basically, he's the writer as well. Puts it all together and all the different bon mots and all the different things that we give him, whatever we come up with. He puts them all into a pot and shapes it like a clay, like a really nice, work of art. I was like blown away by the movie when I saw it. It's just like, can you imagine it and you see it, but you can't really. And you get in there and like you say, the girls really dug it, but you dug it too.
Yes.
Right, that's the thing.
I'm a big kid.
Yeah.
Well,
you are.
I haven't grown up yet. One thing I've always wondered when it comes to sort of the animation process, and Karey, you mentioned as you were kind of designing these characters, did you ever get any input into the look of your character? Did you say Percy, for instance? Did you say, make his ears smaller? Do you get any insights into it?
No, because I didn't, because I think when you sign up to be the voice of a character, that's really what you're doing. And the kind of greatest thing about being here at this moment now, just before the film comes out, is that sometimes a director and a writer can have an absolute vision for a film, and somehow, some way, it loses its way somehow. It becomes something else. And I will say, Karey just talking about the first time he came and we met in London, and he showed me these boards and he showed me some things on a laptop, and the film is so true to that original vision that he first pitched. So I sort of think no one would really want my input in what colour his jacket is or how big his ears are. Like, what I really want to concentrate on is what he sounds like, and trying to really fulfill Karey's vision, really. That's what you're trying to do, because he's the only person that is across all of it, the whole tapestry of all of it. He's the only person that's there with the characters when they're being formed in CGI. He's there in the world, the design, what the music sounds like, what it feels like, acts like. So to start trying to put your sort of 2 cents in would I think you could overthink your own position in the film,
But that's what's great about what they bring, because animation is made in segments. Everybody doing, literally, when I make it, I'm focusing on camera work in this meeting, and then I'm doing animation in this meeting, and lighting in this meeting, and effects in that meeting, and story over here. And so each one of them sort of disparately bringing, just focusing on their character. It is a big, I'm so appreciative always of it. It's such a big leap of faith to put their trust in me that I'm not going to lead them astray, that I'm going to take good care of them, that I'm going to pick good takes, that they're going to look good. And honestly, these guys just give me various degrees of good to great, so.
I didn't have any input on the look of my character, but the one thing that Karey promised me that didn't get made good on was he said I was going to be able to sound like Common, and he just didn't do that.
Wait, don't be the same thing.
That was going to happen.
While he was washing your car.
Apparently the effects didn't work out or something.
I said I would make you as cool as him. And I'm sorry I failed.
Okay.
I will say Migo, sexy Yeti. Maybe the sexiest Yeti. I can see why you didn't want to tweak that. He has maybe the sexiest Yeti.
Migo has better dance moves.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about about the music because I wasn't expecting how much of like a, I'm not going to say full-blown musical, but there are musical numbers. It actually feels like an animated musical, and the songs are infectious. I got my hands on the soundtrack. When my daughters play Wonderful Life by Zendaya, they don't play it once, they play it 20 times in a row. And then I'm like, you got to play it 5 more times. But then I'm hooked on it. But was this always planned to be a musical? Did it change at some point?
Yeah, it was a shock. It was a shock to me too. It
It's a shock to quite a few of us.
Oh yeah.
Well, the one thing I will say that changed, that I just said that Karey really came through with his vision, was I can distinctly remember him saying to me, there might be some music, but we don't think you're going to sing. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure he said the same to you, right, Channing? And then
he's like, well, he's like, maybe you sing like the first like sentence and then the whole village like whatever. And I was like, all right, maybe I could do that.
It was true when I said it.
Yeah. I'm gonna use that for now on.
It was true when I said it.
That is.
You can say anything.
Does that sound familiar?
Just come back. Yeah.
Yeah, and then suddenly you've done maybe 3 or 4 voice sessions, and then Karey will go, right, so about the song, and you'll go, sorry, what?
Yeah.
And before you know it, you're in a booth singing some sort of new reimagining of David Bowie and Queen's Under Pressure.
Right.
And I don't remember this ever being mentioned.
Right. Yeah. So you're not only singing, you're covering one of the all-time great rock songs.
Cheers.
So here's what happened. We had cast most of it, and as we were looking at it, with Courtney Valenti, who's the president of Warner Brothers, and Allison Abate, who's the head of WAG, we started talking about what really elevates animated movies. And music can elevate things emotionally, satirically, dramatically in a way that sometimes a scene can't. And particularly in animation, because you don't have that same kind of problem of making the leap of the break into song musical for some reason when it's not real people. People can go with you there. And because I had done a musical on Broadway, I'd written one with my brother. They were like, "Hey, maybe." Can we take a shot
Take advantage of
making this
For
musical?
trusting actors that.
We wrote a couple of songs. We wrote an opening number that was actually called "Ignorance is Bliss," was the first song we wrote, and then we wrote "Wonderful Life" and kind of put those up in rough form. And everybody said, "I think this could be a musical." So that's when I sort of said to Channing, "It was true. We're writing an opening number that's going to have a lot of Yetis in it." And he was like, I don't really sing, but he sang in Hail Caesar. I mean, we did our homework. And he sang
the same exact way. They were the same exact way. I got to start to.
So this isn't. You're not angling to become like the next Hugh Jackman.
No.
You're just getting roped
Absolutely,
into this.
I can promise that is not going to happen. That was what I said when we went into the recording session. I was like, no matter how this turns out, if somehow this turns out well enough or good enough to like be in the movie, you must promise me that you will never ask me to sing live. To sing it live because I know how this goes, and like that's just. I'm sorry.
I knew he'd be great because he's such a great dancer, and he's got music in his bones and in his blood, and I just knew that, he sells himself short for how amazingly versatile.
Out of my comfort zone.
Yes.
I'm very happy. I'm good.
Channing, tell him who you're the next.
Yeah.
The next Stevie.
I'm gonna release an album. I'm gonna release an album later this year that it's very Stevie Wonder inspired, and so I'm basically the next Stevie Wonder.
That makes sense.
Yep.
I'm right with it.
Yep.
Now I have to say,
Chan Wonder.
we started adding songs. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, then there's another.
And then we realized, we have this guy playing our villain.
I didn't know
the greats.
And Bonnie, our producer, says, what if the scene was written? And we had already started storyboarding the scene, and she said, what if he raps the scene? What if it's... And so we talked, and then and I was like, maybe we can, work on this together. And so we literally put down, came up with the idea really quickly and wrote the song really fast, mostly to show it to him to say, this is the kind of thing that we're talking about. And much to his credit, he listened to the song and he said, I don't know what about that I would change. Because it said, pretty much what we needed to say. And then he came in and just knocked it out of the park.
Well, it took a little time.
Yeah.
It took a little time because, first of all, as James said, Karey has the vision of everything that's going on. And I didn't know I was going to do music in it either, but I was like, as he said, I was down for whatever because I just wanted to be a part of it, and I was having a great time. But when I heard the song, it was like, okay, we don't have to change anything. But I was just really trying to find the Stone Keeper's like feel in that song, and it's something new to me because I haven't really rapped songs that I haven't written. So it was like, okay, Karey said I knocked it out of the park, but it took some work. I have to say, I can remember the look when I first did it. They were like, okay. Like, it's not great, but they were giving me that, it's going to be good. We're going to get there. You know, and it's probably hard for them to tell me that, because they're like, well, Common raps, and he's not really knocking it out the park right now. But I got there.
No, you know what it was, though? Because you were doing what you do as Common.
Right.
And it took a little bit to go, no, wait. You have to be the Stone Keeper doing it. The Stone Keeper is not as groovy as you are, you know, as Common. You have to be a little bit more statesman-like.
Yes.
And so once you got into I remember you said to me, oh, it's more like storytelling through rhyme, like in the character.
Yes.
And that's when you sort of laid back and
that's when I got into
it, and it was great. It was fantastic.
Common, I swear you're in like half of the movies I see these days. Are you trying to be the next Samuel L. Jackson?
I mean, nobody can do Sam.
Oh no, not since I'm Stevie.
Yes, definitely.
He's definitely Sam now.
Yara and Daddy, you guys do not sing in the. Do you guys sing?
No, I'm music adjacent.
I've seen you rap. You can rap.
Oh goodness.
Yes.
I saw you rap Hamilton.
Oh yeah. No, but that's because I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
But I think that's what even drew me to this movie, because like as a history nerd, I feel like this movie addresses just like the dangers of isolationism and a culture of isolationism, which we're addressing or in the midst of right now. And I think as somebody who like literally geeks out over studying Cold War politics and the Chinese Exclusion Act, this was something that I feel like so relevantly addressed it all in such a tangible way, in which it didn't feel like, hey, we're telling you about this message of the socio-political state of our culture right now. It was just enjoyable to watch, and then you realize by the end of it that there's this entire through line.
Yeah. I'm going to take this opportunity to nominate for the first time on camera our next president.
I know it.
Danny, how are your musical skills?
Well, you know, obviously not displayed in this movie, but I can carry a tune.
Yeah.
If the bass is big enough.
So Smallfoot too.
Well, yeah.
See that number?
Starts out with the solo. Yeah, that's it. And it's a rap song. I'm going to start working on it right now. We're going to get going.
All right, we've only got a couple minutes left, but we're going to do a lightning round. We got some fan questions from people that wrote in, so I definitely want to get to these. First up from Anthony on Twitter. Do you feel ripped off working with so many great people and not meeting them until the film is done?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
A simple yes. From at Corden HQ, I think this fan might be a little biased. What is your favorite? We're going to go to you, James. What is your favorite thing about your character?
My favorite thing about Percy is the journey that he goes on. Yeah. He thinks he's somewhere, and he thinks everything he wants is nothing that he needs, and he realizes that come the end of the film. So he goes on a very, very nice and cathartic journey that I think we all go on at some point in our lives.
Can I throw out what I'm jealous of?
Yes, go for it.
And maybe I don't actually want it, but I thought it was so cool. He like threw his phone out and it was connected to this like little accordion thing, and it was like a non-hands-free thing, and it was. I was like, man, that could work. We need to market that.
We need to get that product out there.
Yeah, out there quickly.
From Edward Sanchez, which one of you is most like your character in real life?
Well, every morning, of course, I get up.
Smash my head.
So I may be still in the limelight. I think I'm like, as close to dongle as you could get.
And finally, from the fan question side, this is the most creative question of the day, brought to you by Twitter.com, from Grady Richardson. How many Smallfoots would it take to give a foot massage to Bigfoot? It's deep.
That's deep.
What's
10?
32.
5?
I was going to say a full dozen. Could be
Yeah,
a full
so
dozen.
10, 12, something like
We're gonna go
that.
full dozen.
Yeah.
We're gonna go full dozen. Yes.
Alright.
Yes. I want to have a moment of appreciation for the legend in our midst, Danny Devito. Can you
Yeah.
guys tell me what it's been like to work with this man?
Well, they've been working with me for 8 minutes. What do you
To be in the same movie with this man.
Yes,
to play
and
his
that's what
son.
it is to be in the same.
That's good.
To see you have as much like as much as you've done, and you're still this alive, like and this stuff, and just giving, and man, you just seem like you're having so much fun, and I don't know, it is an
ball
honor.
doing it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's really an honor to be working with all of you.
Yeah, cool. Well, so good to talk to you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you guys for checking out Yahoo Entertainment on Facebook Live.